Good evening, brothers and sisters. It is 6:38 p.m. Central Standard Time right here in the United States on March 5th, 2022. I hope our Creator is keeping you well and safe wherever you are in the world. Please make sure you hit that like button so that people can get aware of things going on, and please share this to other platforms so that way we can bring awareness to individuals that are asleep. I want to start off today at spaceweather.com. And we are currently in the middle of a geomagnetic storm today. Earth is moving deeper into a stream of solar wind flowing faster than 500 kilometers per second from an equatorial hole, basically a coronal hole that was along the equatorial line, okay, in the sun's atmosphere. The action of the stream produced G1 class geomagnetic storms midday UT, which is UTC time, okay, universal time, on March 5th. High latitude skywatchers should remain alert for auroras after local nightfall. Okay, this right here is an image of a plasma vortex that's on the sun. Imagine a vortex of hot plasma wide enough to swallow Earth, swirling faster than 50,000 miles per hour. Well, here it is. All right, an amateur astronomer, Alexander Golachek, photographed the structure yesterday with his local astronomy club in Darmstadt, Germany. And this is his quote: "I recorded this 25-minute movie using a Lunt solar system." Basically, he's telling you what he used. And he estimates the loop's outer diameter as twice that of the Earth. So basically, take the Earth, blow it up to be twice the size, and that's about the size of this bugger. So it's pretty big. It didn't last very long, but it is you can see it in a loop, and it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And it's winding and tighter, and it can actually build up of tension, and it could tear the vortex apart. It could actually exacerbate it, like get pushed off of the sun, so we could see a filament release from it, or it could just wind up just all being absorbed, either way. So we're actually doing all right right now. So if you're feeling a little uneasy, this is why. We'll actually get to that here in a little bit. Right here we're looking at our near Earth asteroids. Those that are highlighted more in a darker pink, you can see how closer this is lunar distance. This is the velocity, which is kilometers per second, and this is how big around the diameter in meters the asteroid is. And we are looking down here on the 5th, and we got some that are about 1 lunar distance from the Earth. We had some that were less than that, those are pretty close, but they're also pretty small. The majority of these would actually burn up in the atmosphere. The only one that I would have any kind of maybe about would be this bugger here, 3.4 lunar distances, which is still, it's pretty close, but it's 3.4 times the distance between us and the moon. So it's quite a little ways out there still. It is moving at 15.7 kilometers per second, which is fast, and it's 18 meters. So yeah, multiply that times 3, and yeah, you'll get your size, and some of that could actually end up popping the Earth, but nothing to worry about. And we are over here at spaceweatherlive.com, and we're looking at our KP index. We are currently in 5. So we are in a geomagnetic storm. Okay, it's a level 1. So if you happen to be up north or down south, keep your eyes out for auroras. You will actually have a pretty decent show. Now, it was actually brought to my attention by one of my subscribers that asked me, what is GW? She happened to be looking at this. So this right here, Northern Hemisphere, we're taking on 58 gig, and actually this was 57 a little bit ago, 58 gigawatts. Okay, and Southern Hemisphere is 54 gigawatts. This is how much energy we're actually receiving from the CERN right now, hemispheric power. Okay, now, just to let you know on how much a gigawatt is, 1 gigawatt can actually power 750,000 homes for 24 hours. And we're taking on 58 gigawatts. So do the math on that. Whoosh, right? We're looking at our sunspots, 2957 and 2960. And as we can see, this one is here by the thumb is starting to develop, and it does have some friends to play with. So we're going to have to keep our eyes out right here, because you can see yellow, which can actually develop into red, just like this guy. And then we got some blue, so we got positive and negative, and they are starting to form it. So this one's going to have some friends, and this one here, you can definitely see it's got some friends here too. So we're going to have to keep our eyes out for both of these sunspots as it starts to come across the solar disk, and we definitely need to keep our eyes open for here, because look at all of this here. We could wind up having some fun times ahead of us. And here we are looking at the sun, and right here we can see our coronal holes that we were talking about. And we did have a little bit of liftoff. We did have some filament with it. Here, let me start it over. You can see this right here, and like I was telling you, as it kind of crosses directly in front of us, we'll still be in the path of those winds. Now you can also see some little bits of release here and there. Nothing super major that I'm seeing. we're having little lifts off. This is something to keep an eye on. There's definitely a nice little plasma filament there and there, but most of that won't come in our direction. So right now we're looking all right. And here we're looking at the sun at 304 angstroms of light. And if you watch the date on the bottom, we will see little bits of plasma release. We had a little bit right there, that big one right here in the middle. Lets a little bit out on the 4th. If I'm not mistaken, it'll get there. This one is a 48-second play. You can see little friends around the edge of the sun. You can see a little plasma release come off over here. And we get a little pop over here, little guy here, but this one lets some go. And we'll get a little one here out of here in just a second here. I know I've seen it. Let's see, what was it? Oh, maybe it was on the 5th. I might have just missed it by looking around. But we did have a little filament lift off here and a little over here. But nothing really major significant to be panicked about. There it is right there. Yep, there it is. That was from today. So that's going to take a little while to get there, and so to get here, and so will this one. So nothing super major. However, we will be noticing some plasma that did arrive with our solar winds from little releases that did happen previous. They kind of hitched a ride with the plasma wind from the coronal mass ejection, the solar wind rather, excuse me. So as we watch our aurora here, we can actually see it coming into play, turning nice and red. So if you're up near the far north, you're definitely going to have a nice little, whoa, what was that? You're definitely going to have some nice little visuals. You'll be able to get some really nice photos of auroras, and that's currently where we're at, folks. We're doing pretty well with that. We come down here, we can take a look at our KP index, and it is up in the 5s, so we are definitely under one right now. However, our constant plasma radiation is actually quite getting kind of down a little bit. We're down into almost mid B for our baseline for our solar, well, what do you call it? X-ray, really. For X-ray, we take a look at NOAA. We can actually see that for tomorrow, it looks like we're still going to have a slight G1 geomagnetic storm into tomorrow, but usually it looks like around noon UTC time it'll actually start going down, and we're getting down to 2s and 3s. Pop back up into a 4 around 9 o'clock on the 7th, and then back to 2s and 3s. So according to NOAA, we're going to be doing pretty well with that. These are sunspots coming, this big one coming around the bend, and then of course we've got this cluster up here. Now let's bring us on down here and take a look at our AceMag SweepHam. Yeah, it looks like we have some missing data here, and it is all over the place. We got down below -6 here, and we are above +6 here, so that we're definitely in an event. When it does that, when it goes below 6 and above 6, we're definitely having an event mode, and we're taking it square on the chin. And once again, we'll come over here and kind of take a little look here at Enlil, the Sumerian Anunnaki god, wannabe god, and his prediction is, oh, look at this, very low amount of plasma that we're taking on. Who believes Enlil, right? After all the lies and stuff that he's given? Yeah, I don't believe him for nothing. As we take a look over here at Seeds at Secchi, this is Chronograph 2A. Okay, this is from Stereo Ahead, and this is actually where we're going to find our, see right here, we're having a little coronal mass ejection right there. Oh, look at this, we got some kind of a light something going on right there, don't we? Some kind of energy. But you can see the coronal mass ejection right here, coming our direction, and this is what kind of is catching a ride with the solar winds. So it's just kind of being pushed right along. You can see it come off this way and down here, and since we're not smack in the middle of the sun, we're kind of more on the downside of it. That's kind of why we're having the events that we're having right now. So nothing super major. I do want to bring to everyone's attention, though, that we're going to be feeling a little different with it. Energies are definitely changing. Solar cycle 24 has officially ended a couple of days ago, and now solar cycle 25 is pure energy all on its own. Oh, look at that, I got some friends. See, solar cycle 24 was kind of hanging on. It wasn't quite ended yet. So we had a mixed combination of solar cycle 24 and 25. But now that 24 has completely ended with the termination event, which is where it meets at the equatorial plane, which is I've shown you guys in previous videos. Now it's all solar cycle 25 coming through. So the energy is going to be a little bit cleaner. In the past day or two, I've actually felt the energy shift, the energy changing, because the old stuff from solar cycle 24 got out of the way. And now we're under 25, and it's an 11-year event. So we're going to have 11 years of this newer energy that's kind of changing along the planet. So you're going to feel a shift. If you're conscious of it and you start paying attention, you'll start feeling, and I felt it yesterday, it was a pure ramped up energy. I could feel it the past couple days. I kind of feel it now. So that's kind of why things are feeling a little different, because the solar cycle actually ended and it got out of the way so that 25 could just take off and do what it needs to do. 25, 2 plus 5 is 7. Interesting. If you're into numerology and stuff. As we come over here to Stereo Head Cornograph 2, we will actually see, guess what? We got a little visitor right over here, and he's just kind of hanging out. Watch this, folks. He just kind of hangs out there. You can see him right here. You can see him glowed up a little bit, but he's still kind of hanging out a little bit. And we can also see the plasma coming off. And remember, we're over here. Stereo Head is ahead of us, so we're actually kind of over here. So we are going to get some of that plasma, but watch how this is recent, little bursts. But look at this. It's still there hanging out. See that? Oh, look at that. That is beautimous. Hello, little friend. It's there more than once. Kind of go twice. See that? Oh, yeah. Very interesting. But anyways, everything will be alright, folks. Just remember to keep your eyes open, no fear, and remember that love is the only way forward.